Hey, Melissa, so this is what I'm trying to do. So when you go to the Connecticut Judicial website and you're looking up properties, what I'm trying to do is I want to mail letters to people who are going through foreclosure prior to the foreclosure occurring. And so what I'm doing is I'm creating the list and then I'm sorting it by which properties have the most equity in it. And then once I find those, I do a sort, and then I go back again and then I look at the date of the foreclosure and the person's name. So for example, I put down all these properties here and the addresses. I put down the fair market value, which I'll show you where to get that. The debt that's owed on it. There's additional debt. And then what the equity is. This is a calculation, it's a formula that's put in. And then once I get all those, so this information isn't here, but once I get all those, then I sort it by this column, the equity. And then I look at the list and I'm like, okay, anything below 60,000 in equity, I'm not interested in, which is this here. But then I go back and I look at these and I put in the date of the foreclosure and the person's first name and the last name. Now, in some of these cases, there is an estate, the person passed away. And in that case, I put the estate of. So let me give you an example of, and you should be familiar with this, but let me give you an example of where I'm getting this information. So if I go by all the towns here and I look up West Hartford here, the first one that's on the list here is 30 Chapman Road. And so then I go to this Chapman Road and I go under full notice. And then I go here to docket number. And then back to case detail. And then here I'm going to look at, let me say this. Foreclosure worksheet is where you get the data. Foreclosure worksheet is where you get the data for here, here, and here. And I get this from line 1, 5, and 7. And then that creates a formula in here. But anyways, once it's all been sorted out, so for example, in here, you can see how I got that. And I can send you this file so you can look at it and you can see what I've done. But basically, I would then need you to go back here, like for this person. And so it is an individual. The person has not passed away. It's Gloria Adam. And because it doesn't have a different address, we would use the address of the 30 Chapman Road. And that's how I get it. So I would need you to complete this report weekly. It would basically be updated. So like the only day I wouldn't be interested in is like for this Saturday, I would not be interested in. But for the following Saturdays, I would be interested in because, well, today's a Tuesday. It would be hard for me to send them a letter, get a response, and put a property under contract in less than a week. That's really difficult. So let me send you this file, this YouTube file, or this, so you can see kind of what I'm describing. And then I'm going to send you the spreadsheet as well, so you can see what I've done. But basically, I would need you to complete all of this every week. So I would get the file from you, and then every week you would send me an updated file. But in this file, I'm going to send it to you, and I'm thinking maybe you can complete the dates here and who it would go to. So let me go to this one though. This is in East Hartford. This is the last one I did. This is at, so if you look at East Hartford here, and the address is 33 Hilton. If you go to here, and then you go, well, it's really back to case detail, you're going to see it's the executor of the state of Maryland in this toll. So this person has passed away. So you would write it out to the state of Maryland and is toll. And since there are no addresses here, we would use the address of the property. So anyways, let me send this to you and hopefully you can understand it. And I mean, it makes sense. You'll understand it, but hopefully my direction makes some sense.